Hey everybody, Mr. Inky Fingers here, um, coming to you today. Wanted to do a little bit of free form drawing. Nothing in mind in particular. Um, just starting out with some shapes and one thing leading to another. It's nice to have some idea of what you're going to draw when you do. It's equally nice when you don't, and you just kind of see what develops. I think having a repertoire of shapes, I mean, obviously having an idea of how to put lines together is ideal. Um, I think anybody can do that. I think that's why it's important to explore hand-eye um, coordination through drawing, putting ideas to paper, that develop in your mind, and letting them take a reality on paper or become reality, excuse me. And I think this is one of those. Looking back on many other drawings as you're going along when you're doing free form, it's interesting to see there's so many times that you'll hit a crossroads. You'll be putting something together and multiple shapes develop without intention, or at least conscious intention. And you're thinking, wow, this really looks like a rabbit, a monster, a shoe. I mean, anything that really pops into mind. I mean, what can I do with this? And you can either then let your conscious mind take over and then get off of sort of freeform drawing, and then that's the direction you can go. I think that I've done it many different ways, and I think both ways there's nothing really wrong. There's no wrong way to draw, right? But um, I think my best works come when you're freeform drawing, commit to it. So no matter what shapes develop, and it might remind you of something, or like, boy, I did not intend to draw that, but that is clearly a face, or that is clearly, I can see making a face out of this, or making this looks like a rabbit or a dragon, or I could really draw this. Kind of stopping yourself from doing that and just continue to see where the pen takes you and your mind takes you. It's like reading a book you've never read before, and you're not sure where it's going to go. And that was this drawing in particular, I know, because there were a few times here doing this that some shapes presented themselves. And I had an idea, and I said, well, I could really take this here, but it's fun just to not do that. Just see what develops. And this one was a surprise. This one did really turn into something I had no idea. It was fun. Looking at it now, critiquing it, I always think, wow, I should have done this and that and that. But that's the conscious mind taking over, right? So, but it's fun. I really enjoy doing these, and it's meditative too. If whether you're new into drawing or you've been doing this for years, um, I think it's extremely healthy. Um, it's a great way to meditate. It's amazing when you start drawing that you could be having a cup of coffee, which I usually sit down with, and before you know it, that cup of coffee's cold, and I've been drawing for 20 minutes straight, and time just zips by. Um, there are times when I'll draw with nothing, no sound, no interruptions, and there are also equally many times when I'll have put some earbuds in and and listen to, have a movie playing, or usually I like to have old reruns playing, um, where my mind already knows what's happening and I'm just listening to it. It's kind of mindless. I don't need to pay attention. Um, for me, that's usually the best. It's just have something mindless happening. I can also, it's funny because whatever I'm doing that moment as I'm drawing, I can look back and I'll remember specific moments during the drawing that are linked to whatever I was listening to or watching. Um, that's pretty normal, I think, for most people when they're anchoring something. But yeah, this one was fun right about here, when I was doing the outer layer and I was trying to just figure out something that's balanced, on both sides. And I was like, well, this thing really isn't that balanced. So I started to go that direction, and then I quickly shifted back. And I said, I'll just go do something else. Once you commit to something, it's funny, like you maybe go in a direction and then your unconscious mind just goes a different direction altogether, and you're like, well, I've lost that, but let's see what else develops here. So I think that many times, if you're doing drawing, definitely do it for meditation. But if you don't, yeah, you should really try to enjoy it and kind of get into what you're doing. So make sure that also when you're drawing, there's another thing that I didn't think of when I first got into drawing, and I think that later on as I did, one of the things is, especially with fountain pens, you have to have, you start with an ink, and make sure you have enough ink in there. There were times where I started drawing and it's like, boy, I forgot to fill the converter or the piston filler, and here I am. I run out of ink, and I was like, boy, I didn't intend to change the color of ink, but we're gonna have to do that. Then I always think of Bob Ross, right? Well, that's a happy little accident. That's funny. Yeah. Here's another neat thing. As I went along too, I didn't think about this. I had an idea of texture, and 3/4 of the way through, I decided, you know what? I'll just mix this up, and I had a completely different idea for texture. So that was fun and completely changed, the idea of what I was doing there too. Yeah, this was fun. Have a quick sip of coffee. Really enjoy coffee. I want to do my drawings with that later. We'll do some different intros and things, and especially when we do some unboxings. Like to share a little bit about different coffee brands and things that I enjoy. And I'd like to hear from other people too, like what are they drinking. Probably drawing and coffee are two big addictions of mine. So I think it was right around here too that I started to say, okay, what do I want to do here? And I remember as I came down this line and I started to think, wow, what should I do? And I started to almost go conscious on that, and I had to stop myself and say, you know what, I don't know what I'm going to do. Let me just flip this around and look. And I just kept going, and then it again flowed. Because if you're not careful, you can come out of that and then find yourself in a rut because you're overthinking things. Yeah. Thinking about coffee too. Used to be very heavy into dark coffees. So the darker roasts. Wasn't until probably maybe a year ago that I tried a really good light roast, and man, I've been on a real big light roast kick this past year, and I've tried multiple brands of coffee, and yeah, especially where I live, we have a lot of local brands coming out, and it's been nice. Been nice trying something a little different, but I'm looking forward to getting back into a little bit more darker roast coffees. Start to get a buildup of, almost like fountain penning, because you have a buildup of coffee that you start storing, going, man, I got to get these bags of coffee. It's kind of like that addiction, I tell you. We're going to be doing some giveaways soon for fountain pens, so stay tuned for that. I'll keep everybody posted. Yeah, coming to the end of this video. There's the final product. Came out pretty well. I was pretty happy with it. Anyways, thanks for watching. Appreciate it.